places in the African continent. I will now give the platform, as you all know, that we just had the executive committee meeting today, and of course the meeting of the 54 member associations with our CAF president, Dr. Patrice Motsepe. Mr. President, thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much. Welcome to everybody. I'll just make a few brief remarks, but also allow you to ask whatever questions you need. We've just had a meeting with our guest, the president of FIFA, who joined us this morning and will be accompanying the CAF delegation to see the head of state again today, and to thank the president of Kenya for the excellent support, cooperation. And I also want to thank the president of Tanzania and the president of Uganda, and the governments and the people of Kenya, the people of Tanzania, and the people of Uganda for what, without a doubt, has been the most successful CHAN in the history of this competition. I saw some of the fan parks and the hundreds and thousands of people who couldn't go into the stadium and were watching the football in these fan parks. What is very clear is that the quality of African football is continuously improving, becoming more competitive and more world-class. This is a competition that showcases the very best we have in Africa. And of course, one of the big challenges is that a lot of our leagues are taking place right now. And some of the national teams had exceptional players, but of course, some of the other exceptional players had commitments with their clubs. But nevertheless, the quality of football and the attendance at the stadiums and the viewership worldwide and the enormous commercial interest. The president of the Kenya Football Federation was telling me that there was a meeting that took place with the private sector, and as a result of the competition, there's abnormal support, abnormal engagement from the private sector to sponsor football in Kenya and to work together with the Football League and with the Football Federation. So we had an EXCO meeting now, and a lot of important issues were discussed. We are engaging on this $1 billion partnership that we've been discussing with the private sector. At the heart of that is to ensure, and that $1 billion over 8 years, is to ensure that we increase the financial resources that's available for African football. A huge amount of that financial funding is going to youth competitions, it's going to investment in academies, it goes into promoting young boys and young girls to participate in competitions in Africa and make sure that those competitions are world-class. The youth are the foundation for the future. We know that Africa has got enormous talent. We haven't always succeeded to nurture and to identify and to develop that talent historically, and that's a focus area. We have a record number of clubs participating in the Champions League and in the Confederations Cup, the highest number ever, and partly because of the $100,000 that we have made available. We'll be spending in excess of $8 million to the football clubs in Africa to help them with the transport and various other logistical challenges that we have on the continent and that the clubs have when they participate in these competitions. The quality of African national teams and the quality of football in each one of the 54 African member associations it's huge progress has been made, and as I said, it's improving, it's advancing, it's becoming even more quality and qualitative, as well as even more globally competitive, because we've always known that one of our key objectives is to make sure that African national teams and African clubs can compete against the best in the world in the FIFA competitions and succeed and do well. What we use this opportunities also to allow members of the media to ask whatever questions they deem appropriate. We've opened the bids for the AFCON 2029, for the AFCON 2031, and for the AFCON 2033 and 2035. We've had a record number of countries that have expressed interest in hosting the AFCON competitions, and what, you know, with this consistent improvement in the quality, as I said, it allows a very important objective that I've set to give each member association $1 million. When this leadership came to CAF, the member associations used to receive 200,000 per annum. They currently receive in excess of 500,000, and we have increased the donation, the funding that we have made available to the zones significantly as well. So good progress has been made. I want to thank my vice presidents, my third vice president and my fourth vice president for the excellent work they're doing, and also thank the CAF Secretary General for his hard work and sacrifices, and the Lux and Sarah and the rest of the team. I don't want to mention name, every single one of the CAF sport, CAF staff, Felix and Cedric and everyone for the good work that they are doing. We're enormously grateful. So before we take questions, just to repeat that, can we clap hands for the President of FIFA, please?
No, just to say hello to everyone.
Just 2 minutes. Yeah. Can we clap hands for the President of FIFA, please? Yeah. It's such a huge honor to have our brother Gianni Infantino, and we had such an excellent meeting. And we'll be going to see President Ruto, and we are honored he'll be joining us to the finals today. And as always, you know, we'll be handing over the trophy and the awards. It's because, as I said, I always want these African players and national team players and competitors to get used to being given an award by the FIFA president. That's a good place, because it's a good place to start, because not too long from now, he should be handing over the FIFA World Cup, the FIFA World Cup. So thank you so much, Gianni. Thank you for your commitment and your support and your enormous loyalty to the African continent. So before we take questions, and thanks to the Secretary General of FIFA and the rest of the team, thank you so much, Matthias. And I've recognized you guys, Chelsea and Federico and Lucien. And we spoke to the President of Kenya football. We're so proud. Thank you for the good work that you've done. Yeah. And so just before we proceed, I'm going to ask the President of FIFA just to make a few remarks, and of course we are going to use, I don't want to say abuse, we're going to use the time whilst he's here to allow you to ask any questions that you may have for him. But thank you so much, Gianni. We are so grateful that you are here with us.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. It is a great pleasure for me to be here in my country, in Kenya, beautiful country, to be here in my continent, in Africa, to be here with all of you at the occasion, of course, of the final of the CHAN exciting tournament. Congratulations again to the three host countries, Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda. Congratulations to CAF as well for organizing this great event. My brother Patrice, his entire team have done an excellent job. Thanks to all of you as well for always supporting football. It is so important for all the girls and all the boys in the continent, and actually as FIFA President all over the world. So for me, it is really a question of great joy to be here today. We are meeting President Ruto as well later on. A great football fan, of course, as well as everyone here, and that's why I'm even more happy be here. A lot of projects. This, of course, is a CAF press conference, which I crashed right now. But we are all CAF, right? We are all CAF.
FIFA.
We are all FIFA, and we are all football. And we are all united and together, and this signifies, I think, the great work that is done. We are investing, as you know, a lot in talent, in news, talent development scheme, academies all over the continent, and I don't have to tell you that the talent that you have here is definitely something very, very special. Then it is our job and our responsibility to make it grow and to make it shine all over the world. So again, thanks for having us here. Great pride, congratulations for everything you do. I'm really, really happy to be here with you. Thank you.
Because I know you may want to ask a few questions. Just repeat what we said earlier. We are an ambitious continent, an ambitious federation, and the investments that we've made in youth football and in each of the member associations in the 54 countries, we can see the progress, and the money we receive from FIFA is enormously beneficial, and it's enormously important for the work that we need to do to make African football as good as the best in the world. So you'll just introduce us, tell us what your name is, and ask whatever question you want. Okay, at the back.
Can I start this side, President, with the host, and then I go to the back?
Okay.
With your permission, of course. Start here with someone from Kenya. They're the gentleman there, Monday. Thank you. I'll come to you afterwards. Tim, at the back there.
Hello, Mr. President. My name is Gad Isaac from Mozart Sport. You've said that this is undoubtedly the best CHAN tournament in CAF history. So I'd really just like to ask you, together with Mr. Infantino, what peculiar things have you spotted about this CHAN tournament, and for Mr. Infantino about the Kenyan football at large?
Just, you know what excites me is the huge investment in resuscitating and developing the interest of football in East Africa. Every head of state said to me, we haven't hosted a football event of significance for the last 40 years. I said, for the last 40 years. And so we saw this from a CAF perspective as an important competition and an important initiative to invest, to stimulate, to motivate the enormous interest that we saw. The hundreds of thousands of people in the fan parks, the feedback I was given by the president of the Kenyan football, the huge amounts of people, the number was 40 million viewership, 40 million viewership. 140,000 in the fan parks. So in Kenya, the interest has been abnormal. In Tanzania, there are tennis stadiums, full stadiums. In Uganda, a huge support, a huge boost for football in these countries. And it's an excellent foundation for the 2027 big competition that's coming. But, you know, we look at this as part of, in East Africa now, we are hosting this big competition of the continent, and how do we nurture and make sure that the popularity and the support for football here is enormously growing and enormously exciting. So we are enormously happy with the results we see, with the numbers, the feedback, and it's an investment that we know long-term will contribute enormously to football development in East Africa, but also in the continent. Gianni?
Yes, thank you very much. As I said, I'm very excited to be here, and the reason for that is that, as President Motsepe was saying, you know, East Africa is an incredible part of Africa with incredible talent, and the fact that there is a feeling out there that actually, well, football is more prominent or develops more in the West or in the South or in the North of Africa, but the East is kind of lagging behind. Well, it's simply wrong. It's simply wrong when you see the passion that there is here and the commitment that there is here. New stadiums are being built, infrastructure is coming together. We've heard about the viewing figures, the stadiums, the fan parks, the fan festivals. This shows that it is right to invest in the game, because this is investment in the youth of Kenya, which has an incredible talent. You have now a new president of the federation as well, since 7-8 months, who is engaged in making really a difference, and we can already see that this is happening. So from our side, of course, a full support in developing youth, in bringing it up. We at FIFA are investing, of course, as well. We hope that we can present soon a very exciting project of a national center, academies, and so on. We are investing more in terms of the revenues that we make in football in Kenya and all over Africa. And one thing that we tend to forget in Africa, like in other parts of the world, in the next weeks you have some important games, qualifiers for the FIFA World Cup. And we tend to forget that what we did was doubling the number of African representatives in the FIFA World Cup. There were 5. At this World Cup there will be 9 or 10. So this is something which will boost, of course, even more the development of African football.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just keep in mind, these 3 countries have got more than 160 million people. Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda. It depends what do you describe as East Africa, but if you include some of their neighbors, we're talking more than 400 million people. And Sudan went to the semifinals, and just what President Infantino was saying, just the interest, the excitement that this competition has created is an excellent foundation for the future.
Okay, I go to Rael, and then Mamadou, and then Sadiq, and then I come this side. In that order, please.
Mamadou, did they fly you economy again? I told them if they fly you economy again, no bonus.
So, Gael, you've got the first question, then Mamadou, then Sadiq, and then I come back this way afterwards, if you don't mind.
Hi.
No. That side first, at the back.
Hi, my name is Alban Terroir for Radio France International. I wanted to get a bit your impression of organizing this CHAN across 3 countries and the fact that there was a lot of excitement, but there were also a few games where the stadium was empty. And I was wondering how you approach this to make sure it doesn't happen for AFCON.
No, very good question. But empty is a bit excessive. Every match where you have a local team sold out. And my concern always, and I'll tell you why, because I've got sponsors, I've got investors. These are commercial people. We have to show to them that by associating with African football, it's good for their business, it increases sales. So when the president of the Kenyan Federation says to me that they've never had, the number is, they have more than 60. President Ruto hosted a meeting with the national team. They invited more than 60 of the biggest companies in Kenya. The excitement, the enthusiasm, the recognition that to associate with Kenyan football, with African football, is good for their products, it's good for their business. It's a wonderful basis to proceed for the future. So in some of the games we saw that the attendance was about 30-40%. Yeah, and of course we can do what happens in many other countries where you can allow the youth and various others to come, but it happens worldwide, even in in, I don't want to mention any confederation, but if you've got a confederation competition, you are guaranteed to get a huge attendance when the national team plays. But we are today sold out, and none of the host countries, and it was sold out in a few hours, I'm told, and none of the host countries are playing. So that's a wonderful basis to proceed for the future. But it's a very good question, but I'm very happy with the attendance, because this is the issue that the president always overemphasizes. I want to see full stadiums. I want to see people in their numbers, and I'm very happy with the progress that has been made.
Mamadou and then Sadiq. Mamadou, you can just stay down because of the camera behind you.
No, you can stand up, Mamadou, because this is the Mamadou who says he loves FIFA and he loves CAF. I say that's a good partnership to love.
Okay. My name is Mamadou Gaif, Soccer Africa and Super Sport. I have two questions.
And your surname is Infantino, but continue.
2 questions for President Motsepe and one for President Infantino. President, you just spoke about the $1 billion.
Just start with a question for President Infantino quickly.
Okay.
And then I'll take my 2.
For President Infantino, it's about the allowances FIFA is giving to the zone. You take COSAFA, it's 14 countries. You take WAFUB, it's 7 countries, but they receive the same amount. I think that something have to be done there to correct, because when there is a competition of COSAFA, you have to fly in 13 countries. WAFU, you fly in 6 countries, and it's the same budget. And I think that something have to be done there. That's your question. And
no, don't ask me. Let me answer that one. I only want, I want nice questions for my family members. And the problem with Gianni is he's African, so that's the big problem he has. So I was just going to say that this is a question that has been raised so many times, and that's mainly why, Mamadou, we have increased the money to the member associations. The zonal competitions are very important, and I was reminded that before President Infantino was president of FIFA, the member associations used to get 200,000. They're now getting 2 million. So that's very important, because some of the member associations have got serious financial challenges. And my job is to make sure that in every one of the 54 African nations, that the national team and the clubs plays in their countries rather than outside. And the question you ask about zonal competitions takes account of this issue was raised, that you are giving me the same amount and there are 16 of us, and you are giving the same amount to the other ones where there are 6. And within CAF, we've taken initiatives to try and make sure that there's a balance. And I can assure you that good progress has been made. So Gianni may want to add something on that, and then I'll answer the 2 questions you have.
No, just to add that before there was 0 for everyone, so we gave something for everyone, and this is already, I think, a step forward. But also that we believe very much in FIFA and in CAF as well, in the regions, the zones, and the zonal competitions, and obviously we will be looking into these questions to see how we can make it, even better. It's not about the money that you pay, but it's about the competitions that you organize and the development work that you are doing in the different zones and in the different associations. So we will definitely focus on that and invest on that. And thanks for the question. And then there are some countries and there are some areas, some regions where with little they do a lot, and in others with a lot, they do little or nothing. It depends then always as well on the people which are there and what use they make of the funds which are available. We are here to support and to help to change things and to make them always better. Thank you.
And just to add on what he says, one of the things that I like is the report I get from every member association and zone. What do they use the money for? Because it's important that the money goes for development, for youth, for academies, for the competitions. Make those competitions world class. And I know if you're in COSAFA, for example, you have to travel from, it can take you in a plane more than 3 hours to fly from one area to the other. And we are making progress, you know. We're not where we would like to be, but as my brother said, if you look at where we started, enormous progress. And we are confident that we'll continue to do better. The other two questions?
Okay, then I will start by first congratulating Kenya for visa-free for all Africans. I think that is one reason the competition was very successful.
We can clap hands for that. Now, I've got 3 countries that are hosting.
Yeah, the other 2, I gave them yellow card. For visa for Africans. And it was difficult for many Africans. You have to apply visa for Uganda, to apply visa for Tanzania. I think this is something CAF should look into in the future. If you want a CAF competition, it should be in the bid book to soften the visa issue. You even have accreditation, you still have to pay for visa. Then that was the thing.
So that's not a question, that's an excellent comment. I agree with you.
Okay. And now the $1 billion, who is the winner?
Well, I must say I'm so proud of what happened in Côte d'Ivoire. And this is still a process. African football has never been in this exciting period that we are in. There's still a lot of work to be done, and there are challenges, legal challenges with COMESA, for example. We may not do agreements for more than 4 years, and yet, in order to make this partnership beneficial to the sponsors, the investors, to the agency as well as to CAF, there's an 8-year process that's required. So we will be in touch with COMESA to engage there. And we've identified, I first want to tell the ones that we've identified. There are 2 of them that we've identified, and we will be engaging with them in the short term to make sure that we make a lot of progress. But remember, this is $1 billion over 8 years. There's a huge chunk of that is guaranteed. It's never happened. And it's happening, and I want to thank Gianni in particular, and thank FIFA, because when we started this process, I spoke to Gianni and said, FIFA has got some of the most experienced and the smartest people in football when it comes to tenders and processes of this nature. And the support from FIFA, the personnel, with using the smartest and brightest on the continent. And what I like, Mamadou, is we are building infrastructure so that there will be skills, African skills. I don't want to mention the number, but there's a huge amount of money that is being earmarked for marketing, advertising, broadcasting, the whole range of negotiations, sponsorships, the whole range of expertise that is required, so that when this agreement comes to an end 8 years from now, CAF will be in a position like FIFA, like UEFA, to have this world-class skills and expertise from North Africa, from West Africa, from East Africa, from Southern Africa, employed and negotiating and bringing the resources, it's enormously exciting. So I don't want to say the exact number. I'm not breaching any confidence. It's a significant amount, tens and tens of millions of dollars. And the beauty is, Gianni and I, many years from now, when we're not involved in football, for me and all the other presidents of the member associations, we want to look back and say, it was such a privilege and an honor to make a small contribution. This is the legacy for all of us, to make a small contribution for the development and growth of African football. And the people who take over from me, they have to continue with the work and make sure that the agreements that we've concluded with the support of FIFA and Gianni and the expertise on the continent and the 54 member associations and the support from our vice presidents, it will change the face of African football. You finish with your questions now.
Yes, Sadiq, and then we come.
Hold on. You finish with your questions, Mamadou. Thank you. You didn't tell me whether they flew you economy or business class. Somebody sent me a clip, and I was sitting in the plane because sometimes, unfortunately, I have to fly and I'm alone. And they showed me a clip, and you were complaining and said, "Yeah, CAF invites me, and then they want me to fly economy." So I said, well, let us go and see where. But the problem is, all of the other people now are going to say, we also want business class, But it's important that the media is very important. You have to criticize and comment and identify our weaknesses as well as where we do well. But it's important that when you're with us, we treat you well. We make sure that we facilitate the work that you need to do. We are supporting you. It's convenient. And I know in my businesses, if I give the media lousy food, they're going to write lousy things, So, and sometimes even when we give them good food, they still write lousy things. But I think the media is important. And what I like is when you identify the things where we can improve, including our weaknesses and our failures. It's very, very important because those are opportunities for us to do better. Next few questions quickly. We have to rush because
Sadiq, then Lydia, and then we come to the lady
is
here.
waiting for us. Yeah.
Mr. President, my name is Sadiq Shaban from CGTN. If Mamadou didn't fly business, we can take him to Nairobi National Park. He can get some first-class treatment on that. So Mamadou, I have a question for Gianni Infantino, the president of FIFA. If my colleagues here in Kenya don't get to ask you, they've been wondering what took you so long to come to Kenya for the first time. And this being your, not the first time, first tenure as the FIFA president. You've just had a meeting with the president of the US, Donald Trump. And now that you're in Africa, African football fans are a little bit jittery about what is happening in the US in regards to the expulsion of people who are in the US. And FIFA has just opened up requests for volunteers for next year's event. And the fans are wondering whether they should engage, in fact, whether they should apply for this, and in fact, whether they will be able to see African teams, in fact, playing next year the FIFA World Cup. You are in Africa, thankfully, after just meeting the president of the US. Would you address that? And secondly, sir, my question is to Mr. Motsepe.
Okay, let's answer that one first. Because I can tell you, during the Club World Cup, Gianni keep saying to me at night when we met in the football competitions that, he's working round the clock to make sure that there is as facilitating and as convenient access to African supporters, fans, to come and watch the Club World Cup, as well as a huge amount of engagement to ensure that next year all of those who want to come are keen to come. And of course, we recognize that every country, it's a matter of sovereignty. We recognize that has got their own requirements and their own legal obligations. But what I do know is that there's a huge amount of commitment not just within FIFA. I mean, FIFA is enormously engaged and a huge amount of progress has been made, but there's also a huge amount of commitment within America to cooperate and to support the African fans who want to go and watch their national teams. And as I said, there's no difference in America or whether it's Europe or whether it's Brazil or whether it's any other country. We recognize that every country has got their own legal requirements, and we are confident that we will fulfill whatever requirements they may have, and there'll be sufficient access to African fans in the World Cup next year.
Yes, definitely. I can underline what President Motsepe just said. I think it's important to clarify this because there is a lot of misconception out there. Everyone will be welcome in Canada, Mexico, and the United States for the World Cup next year. We are working exactly for that. At the Club World Cup this year, we had fans coming in from 164 different countries without, of course, any problem. Obviously, there is a process to go through to obtain visas and so on, but this process will be smooth. It will ensure that those that qualify will be able to, of course, come with their fans. Volunteers obviously have to engage from Africa and from all over the world with the World Cup because it is an unforgettable experience, and we'll have tens of thousands of volunteers coming from all over the world, as always, in every World Cup. So we are working very hard to make this happen. Then, as President Motsepe said as well, every country has its own legislations in terms of obtentions of visa. We've heard even here there is not, it's not visa-free in the neighboring country for African countries. So 2 countries got the yellow card in the neighborhood here from Mamadou. So, we have to work on that. We have to make it better. We have to make it seamless, but there is definitely the commitment of the governments in the United States and Canada and Mexico to make sure that the process is smooth and that fans from all over the world will be welcome, and it will be a celebration of football with a record number of African teams participating. Let's not forget that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, quickly.
Sadiq,
Yeah.
one last
My
question.
question to you, Mr. President.
Yeah.
Last time you sat there during the CAF Executive Committee meeting, you were a different man than the way you look now. In terms of faith.
I hope I look better today.
You look much better today. Because I'm next to you, that's why.
I've got family members next to me, absolutely.
In terms of also your faith, because the last time you sat there, the issues you addressed are not the issues you are addressing now. So looking back at the 3 countries hosting this tournament for the first time, just top of your fingers, what would be the legacy of this competition in East Africa?
Yeah, thank you for those questions, because you see, we have to believe in our people. We have to have faith in our people. Will there be challenges? Absolutely. Will there be failures? Absolutely. But I am enormously confident. This competition was supposed to take place in February. I had requests from other countries to say, but President, we are ready. Bring it to us. Our stadiums and our infrastructure. But we had a clear objective. We wanted to develop and grow football, focusing on East Africa. And that's what makes me so proud. And I mean, and your presence here, Gianni, today is on this competition is almost like, the cherry on top of the cake, because I'm very pleased that the infrastructure, the quality of the facilities really has been very good, and it's a good basis for 2027. So I'm feeling, it's like I'm writing an exam, and when you write an exam, when the results come, it's not, you can either be happy or unhappy, but the results are the results, and the results look very good. Thank you so much.
Quickly. Lydia, you ask in English, Afrikaans really, French.
BBK, benyak boni man, ukhona. Ngumona basekhaya lapho ngiyajabula mfowethu.
Bonsoir, chers tous.
Yeah, let me put my translation thing. Continue where?
Ouais. Bonsoir, Président. Moi, c'est Tatiana Fleur, reporter, photographe ARA CSP Paris, mais je représente cela au Cameroun. Et je tenais, c'est pas pour une question en tout cas, c'est pour vous féliciter. Je suis à ma 8e Coupe d'Afrique et à ma 6e CHAN. Cette organisation a été tellement grandiose, surtout que c'est organisé dans 3 pays. Ça, c'est à féliciter. Bravo, Président, bravo. Bravo. Bon, maintenant, j'ai une petite préoccupation.
That's what I know, bravo.
Ouais, bravo, félicitations. Congratulations. OK. Président.
Merci beaucoup.
On dit quoi? J'ai une petite question, Président. La presse, Président. Organisée dans 3 pays, ça n'a pas été facile pour nous, la presse. Ça n'a pas été facile pour nous parce que le déplacement et tout, c'était pas facile, Président. C'était pas vraiment facile. Donc, j'aurais souhaité, par exemple, comme il y a la prochaine CAN après 2027 qui est ici, si on peut mettre des transports à la disposition des médias, ça va vraiment nous aider. Ouais. Donc, c'est tout, vraiment, congratulations.
Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup, madame. Just 2 quick issues, and I can say it now. I couldn't say it earlier. One of the reasons why I was insisting that despite the challenges we had in February, that the competition must continue in this region. As I said, even though there were other regions that were ready immediately, is because of some of the issues that you're raising now. We wanted to see what are some of the issues where there are deficiencies, problems, as well as weaknesses, and how we can improve on them. Now, you come from Cameroon. We had big challenges with Cameroon. Gianni knows, for the AFCON, where people phoned Gianni and phoned me, said, cancel, cancel, cancel. And there were problems, legitimate problems. The stadiums were not ready. But we believe in our people. If we don't believe in our people, who's going to believe in them? And whatever challenges and problems there may be, we'll fix them. We fixed them in Cameroon, and thank you for what you've said. We will see what we can do, because we will see how we can help. Of course, it will need some resources, and there's so many media now. I know I don't want to mention the name of the country. The government provided an aeroplane that transported the media to different parts of the country. Anyway, so those are things we'll look at. But thank you so much.
President.
Merci beaucoup, madame.
President, we're just running out of time. So if with your permission, can I take one question, because you've got other engagement coming up now?
Yeah.
I understand, Celestine. I promise you. I will come to you. I promise you, Celestine.
Sorry, go to that lady who said, please continue.
Celestine? Celestine.
Just two quick ones. Quick ones.
Is your name Celestine?
Yes, Celestine from
okay.
BBC.
I thought Celestine was somebody else. I wanted you, but continue.
Quick ones, one for Mr. President Motsepe. You've talked about some deficiencies, which...
You've got a question for President Infantino?
Yes, I do.
Start with him first.
Okay. President Infantino, I'm Celestine from the BBC. We've seen a lot of expansion of competitions, UEFA Champions League, FIFA Club World Cup. Do you think that there could be a moment that comes when there's too much football, not just for elite players, but for fans as well, considering competing interests, especially between sports and entertainment?
Thank you.
Well, we always have to be, of course, wary of the calendar, wary of the competitions that we organize. We need to find the right balance always between engaging the entire world or the whole continent when it comes to Africa, and doing something only for the elite or for everyone. So finding the right balance is what occupies most of our time always. And you know, when FIFA was founded, there were a handful countries playing football in 2 different continents. Now there are 211 countries in 6 different continents. So it is always important to find the right type of competitions for the right teams. In the Club World Cup, for example, that we organized earlier this year, the first ever Club World Cup, there were 4 African teams, clubs participating, but there were players from 19 different African countries participating as well. So this opens new doors, new opportunities for players, and we need to always discuss with all the stakeholders, with the leagues, the clubs, the associations, the confederations, all together to find really what is the right balance, what makes more sense. We see that the stadiums are full, especially when home teams are playing, and that there is a lot of enthusiasm and engagement. And, you know, maybe for some players or some teams or some countries, in some countries there's too much football, in others there is not enough football, and where there is not enough football is actually the majority of cases and situations. So we need to address all this and try to find the right balance.
Thank you.
I mean, that's such a, I just want one quick issue. I mean, the Secretary General of FIFA is here, and there's been discussions with the Secretary General of CAF, with the Secretary General of FIFA, because he's really doing excellent work in terms of making sure that we coordinate and the competitions we have here in the continent. And also to make sure that, for example, the AFCON that we have in December in Morocco, that there's greater synergy, greater cooperation with all of the competitions in the world. Now, we only have 2 competitions for national teams in Africa. Europe has got 4. There's 4 competitions for clubs in Europe, very competitive. We only have 2. And the African Football League is, and thanks to you for your visionary leadership there, is critically important. So you're 100% right. We have a deep commitment to the players, to the clubs, and to make sure that our competitions are really world class. The first thing I got when I became president, I was told, cancel the CHAN, this competition, stop it. It's losing money. It's a failure. There's no interest. And President Infantino said something very important. You know, you've got your nations that we want to focus on competing at the world level because we want them to win the FIFA Club World Cup. Others don't have the resources, and they don't have the backing, the financial wherewithal to compete at that level. And those are as important to me and to CAF as the big ones are. And that's why I'm so excited that this competition has been such a success. And we've increased the prize money, the attendance. I'm not so sure about the timing, because I've got to relook the timing. Because, you know, the clubs have started their professional leagues. But we'll get it right and we'll improve. What were the 2 quick questions you had?
For you would be, Mr. President, what are some of the things CAF have seen in this tournament that need work going to AFCON 2027?
Yeah.
Because at some point we did see issues in ticketing and security, especially in Kenya. And I appreciate that CAF put in sanctions. But what would be the issues, if you can enumerate quickly for us, that need work? And then my final question, I don't know if it was discussed at the Exco, but will we see an expansion of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations in terms of the number of teams competing? Thank you.
Very, very good question. I've got a family member who's got 4 daughters, beautiful daughters. Every time I see him, he says, "Tell me about your competitions for girls." And you know, he also reminds me that I think your mother would agree with that, and your wife. So I'm pleased with the progress we've made in African women's football. And you know, part of my starting point is make sure that the boys and girls are paid well, and they can make a career and a future out of football. including the coaches, the technical teams, pay them well. And that's why the sponsorship, the money, and of course the club owners, it's important for them that they don't have to keep on subsidizing their football clubs. So you've raised something very important. I had feedback about areas where there's improvement, where there's room for improvement, and that's very, very important. But what I like is the minute I told, Veron came to me, President, the Secretary General, there are these issues here, and the minute he spoke to the minister, and in some cases I spoke to the head of state, immediate cooperation, immediate improvement. You spoke about the ticketing, the good progress was made, and so these are the sort of things that gives me confidence for the future. And I can assure you that the women's football will continue to improve, because that's an area where we are focusing a lot, and to allow the highest paid woman in the world, women football player, is from Africa. And that the two highest paid. So that should tell our young girls that there's a big future for them. Now, we are about to leave. Is there anybody who feels that if we leave and they haven't asked the question, there would have been an injustice?
President, we will have another possible opportunity when you visit the stadium for a mixed zone.
Just repeat again.
We will have another mixed zone opportunity. Okay. So maybe we'll just take one question and then we close.
So what he says is, all of you, they're invited to the stadium. Eh? Okay. So come to the stadium, and then yes, we will answer those questions that we have not answered. So I wanted to give a lady, but I see too many ladies, so you choose the lady.
There's the one who has been...
Why don't we ask the FIFA president? You know what the FIFA president says? He says, allow all the ladies.
There is a lady at the back who's been raising her hand for some time, President. She will have the last one.
Okay. And I'm going to allow this one as well.
Okay. Merci beaucoup à vous, Monsieur les présidents de la FIFA et de la CAF. J'ai deux questions, une question adressée au président de la FIFA et une autre au président de la CAF. Je commence par Monsieur Gianni Infantino. Depuis plus de 2 ans, la RDC est sous normalisation. Quand est-ce que ce régime exceptionnel, le CONOR, va enfin prendre fin pour qu'un comité légitime soit élu et dirige la FECOFA?
Sorry, let me first translate to Gianni. Okay. He always translates to me in French. So
on a un citoyen. Exactement.
The question is about.
It's about Congo. So.
Quand la FIFA et la CAF.
So just before you answer, just translate what the question was in English.
Votre question, I was just to make sure the question. Vous avez compris la question? Yeah. About the committee, about the normalization committee.
When will it be normal again?
When will it be normal again? Okay.
The normalization committee in Congo.
That was the question. One, the FECOFA is the Federation of Football Congolese in Congo. When it will become normal means that when the committee will be elected by its member to function normally. This was the question. Quand il y a un comité de normalisation dans une fédération, parce qu'il y a eu des problèmes. Pour que ça revienne dans son état normal, tant qu'il y a des tricheries, tant qu'il y a les élections au niveau provincial ne se déroulent pas conformément au texte de la FIFA et la CAF, vous ne pouvez pas conduire une élection au niveau national. Chaque fois, il y a eu des élections biaisées. On ne peut pas continuer comme ça. Ce n'est pas nous qui le disons. On a reçu des plaintes des ligues provinciales, de certains des stakeholders, des parties prenantes. On ne peut pas continuer, on ne peut pas faire des élections biaisé. Maintenant, on a mis des garde-fous, c'est-à-dire on va mettre des comités indépendants au niveau même des provinces, des ligues provinciales, qui suivent ces élections. C'est comme ça qu'on arrive à avoir un comité normalement élu en respectant les textes de la FIFA et de la CAF et même les textes de
to everybody that the chant for men should not be cancelled. So now we've proven beyond a doubt that it's an enormous success. So you're 100% right. It's a good foundation now to come and focus and see what the chant for women would look like. But I was seeing yesterday the COSAFA, all the zones, and that's excellent. My Vice President here, Bestine, she's the head of women's football in Africa. She's doing excellent work. But thank you so much for this mixed zone to attend. BBK.
Sure, President.
Yeah. We are now talking Swahili now, BBK. Yeah. No.
To your President, Giovanni Mr. Fantino, please. My brother here took the question that I wanted to ask you, but I'm going to make it me. I'm going to make it me on behalf of Africa. Your predecessor did a lot to make sure that Africa is able to be seated at the top table of world football. To that extent, my country, South Africa, was able to become Africa's stage for what was an excellent World Cup, so that we could show the world that Africa and the world can be mentioned in the same sentence as excellence.
where the World Cup is going next year, given the geopolitics, because we cannot isolate what is happening around the world for the great sports of football that we have. It is called the beautiful game for a reason, Mr. Infantino. It is called the game of billions for a reason, for all of us. We are going to play it in a country where some of us do not feel welcome. I think the onus is on you to make sure that Africa and all the other people of the world do not feel like outcasts, do not feel like they are being made second-class citizens in a world where equality should prevail. I just wanted to take that message to you.
Well, as I said, thank you so much, BBK. I know that during the Club World Cup, this is something that Gianni kept talking to me in particular every night. And I want to tell you something even that's also important. You know, sometimes when you are behind closed doors, you are significantly more effective in getting what you want to achieve rather than going into the media and saying things that may be misinterpreted. So I want to thank you for that question, and I'm enormously not just happy but proud of I know Gianni has had a lot of private discussions. I'm exposed to that because some of those meetings we were supposed to have discussed other matters, and said, please excuse me because I'm focusing on this issue to try and make sure that Africa and the rest of the world come to America in a manner that is as comfortable, as convenient as possible. And I can confirm that on the other side, there is indeed, that commitment has been expressed. But I do want to say as well, in conclusion, that what Mamadou has been saying is correct, because if I go to some of the other countries in Africa, because it's important, I don't want to mention the names of countries. I had the same problem in another competition where I couldn't get people flying, and this is in Africa. And when I went there, they said, but you know, President Motsepe, we know that you know what sovereignty means. I said, no, I understand that. And all I'm asking is just help me. So you want to say something as we close?
Definitely. No, I can really underline and repeat once again that everyone is welcome, will be welcome in North America next year for the World Cup. I mean, there is a reason why we decided to increase the number of participants from 32 to 48 teams, doubling from 5 to 9 or 10 the number of African representatives, because we want to unite the world, and we will unite the world in America next year. The world needs occasions of unity, of bringing teams together, of bringing people together, of bringing fans together. We are expecting millions of fans to come to United States, Canada, and Mexico next year. We want it to be a celebration, and everyone is committed to make this happen. So again, everyone will be welcome. Be positive. You will see there will be a great, great celebration of the greatest FIFA World Cup ever, not just in terms of number of teams, 48 number of matches, 104, 3 host countries, but also in terms of over 7 million fans coming to the games. You know, it requires, of course, a lot of organization, and we are committed to make it a huge, huge, huge success. So you will see, have faith, and you will see it will be fantastic. As it was in the Club World Cup this year, by the way.
Just as we close, just to thank all of you for and particularly for the purpose of a press conference is to ask some of the difficult and complicated questions. And because it makes us focus on areas that we need to improve and more importantly, where there may be problems on your side. Thank you so much. Thanks, Gianni. Thanks, FIFA. Merci beaucoup. Thank you so much, and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you.